สวัสดีค่ะคุณยาน
สวัสดีครับ
Thank you very much for joining the talk today. Give us the opportunity to visit you at your office.
Yes.
New office, no?
Yes, it's a new office. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Many people know you in the business community, but maybe they don't know much about you. And also, we would like to have your advice how to be success like
Yes.
you. Okay.
Okay.
So first, let's start with your background. Kun Jan, you are from Germany. Which part of Germany that you are from?
I'm actually from the middle part of Germany, from a city called Göttingen. Yeah, it's between Hanover and Frankfurt. Typical German town, not that large, 100,000 inhabitants roughly, and it's a very rural area, I would say. And then I went to the army first, directly after the school. I went to the Air Force, became an officer in the Air Force, did flight training in the US, so did a lot of stuff there, for 2 years. And then I changed my career and decided to go to university. So then I went to university in Darmstadt, the Technical University of Darmstadt, and studied, in German it's called Wirtschaftsingenieurwesen, with a degree in engineering then, with focus on engineering. And my major subjects at that time were product development on the one side, on the technical side, and business development and business setup on the business side.
We know that you start the career is at very young age. You already take big responsibility as the managing director.
During my studies in the university, it was common to do an internship abroad. I was of course applying for a lot of internships and tried to find a good solution. There was something going on in Mexico or Malta, these kind of locations, but then Thailand came as an idea, and to be honest, I had not much of an idea what's going on here. At that time it was still Don Muang, the airport, and the SkyTrain finished at Ornut basically, so there was that period. I did this internship in a Thai company. I was the only Falang, basically, and of course a lot of Thai communication, a lot of Thai friends. That Thai company, they were an agent for Sartorius. Was at that time a strong focus was on mechanical scales, laboratory scales, industrial scales, and so on. Besides their now very successful biotechnology business, and I got to meet those people from Sartorius, from the regional organization. Then sooner or later they invited me to an interview because they were looking for a new country representative to basically run the business here for them in Thailand. Of course, at the time my degree wasn't finished at the university. I thought, well, that's a great opportunity, so I took that opportunity and I went on board and started the job. And in parallel, I had to finish my degree. So I was traveling a little bit to do some exam and to do a master thesis and so on. It went quite well, and then after some time, Sartorius said, well, we have a guy whose major is basically in business creation or business setup. So they asked me to establish their subsidiary here. Then suddenly I was managing director within a very short period.
But normally when you start the career, you always think that I have a goal, I want to grow my career, or you do a good work every day and see the opportunity come in.
At that time, I think, of course, I had this plan to do career. Very clearly, I wanted to do a career, and this opportunity came, and I took it. It's, of course, it's a bit unusual. To be clear, because a lot of my friends from university, they went to consulting firms. All the big names, and I decided, no, I do this kind of thing in Thailand, be basically a country representative, learn how to do sales. That was initially the thought. Okay, and then came the managing position, which was of course a little bit of luck, but I was ready to do it. I did the whole business planning because I studied that. It worked very well. We had a great inauguration party at that time with the CEO joining, so that was quite a big thing.
Was it the challenge for you to be as a young boss?
Of course. I had, of course, a bit of a leadership background from the army, from the Air Force. A little bit different and leadership, but of course the basic rules are similar. What I had to learn here was, of course, different culture. I was relatively new in Thailand, relatively new to that kind of leadership. So challenge was really to read the minds of the staff, to understand, and of course also to understand customers, how they're thinking. Those were really the most critical parts. And then of course get used to the traffic. Yeah, I'm a bit not the super patient person. Yeah, so when you and then you have to learn to sit in a taxi maybe 2 hours to go 5 kilometers. So I trained my patience.
The background as a technical guy to do sales. How enjoy your?
I mean, to be clear, that has to be learned. Yeah? I think nobody's really a born salesperson. Of course, some people are more relaxed or more open than others. Yeah? But sales is something has to be learned and can be learned. When I started with Sartorius, the president Asia at that time had a very great idea to send me to India to learn how what it really means to go to customers and how to talk with them and so on. That was quite a rough thing. Yeah? So we visited all these customers in some factories that were like really far away from any kind of civilization, I would say. I went by train to go to Chandigarh at that time. That was really an experience to learn from these sales guys that really kind of base sales. Yeah, and I went through a whole process of learning how to sell. Yeah, I think it took really a lot of time, a lot of years. In the meantime, I would say I've developed a very good sales process, I call it a sales cycle, where we go through steps in the sales, where we identify leads, where we qualify the leads, where we ask a lot of questions. Yeah, sales is actually a lot about asking questions, not talking too much, and I'm trying to understand the customer and his needs. Yeah, and that's actually really the value of his needs. Yeah, so it's really a deep discussion and a deep understanding of customer. Even though I had a technical background, there was something that I really like, and then I like it really until today. It's a great thing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you have to be a little bit open. Yeah, and you have to be willing to talk to people, not like overwhelm them with your information. Like for me, the first sales call is an interview. Yeah, like you do it with me right now, and you are not the one talking, but I'm the one talking. In sales, it's exactly the same, only that the customer is talking and not me as a salesperson.
We have focus on the customer.
Correct. Yeah.
Back to talk about AZO, our company now. How many people of AZO Asia that you take care of in Asia?
In Southeast Asia, we have, I just checked the numbers this morning, I wasn't exactly sure, we have 38. Yeah, and actually by the end of this week we will have 38. We are increasing, and we are here in Thailand. We have 3 locations. Actually, Thailand is the main location. Then we have a small office and company in Indonesia, people in Malaysia. In other countries, a sales branch, but here we do also the engineering, the whole service coordination, the system design, also the automation, and of course also the sales concept. Yeah.
And how many women working for AZO?
Actually, in total, it's 36%. In AZO Limited, 36%. I think it's relatively high. In accounting and finance, it's 100%. Typical. Yeah. Engineering, it's also quite a high number, 50%.
Compared to Thailand and Germany, where are more popular for women to work in this field?
It's a bit difficult for me to say how it is in Germany, but I can only say it for our team here. It's of course quite 50% is quite unique. Yeah, but I asked my colleagues here, and they said, but actually when they studied at university, it's not like that there are a lot of women or girls studying this subject. It's just a few, which is actually similar to what I experienced in Germany. I think we're doing quite a good job and here in how we do that. Yeah.
In order to succeed in this field, do you think men and women, they have different way to go or not?
The way is pretty much the same, but I think for women it's more difficult because there are more obstacles. Yeah, probably likely because of the expectation might be a different one. Yeah, I mean, maybe the family expectation is not that they become an engineer. Maybe the society doesn't really say, okay, engineers is something for women. Of course, learning to become an engineer, you have to, of course, very diligent and work. You have to like it, and I think this is also the main point. If you like something like that, just follow it. Colleagues mentioned also that really the open-mindedness, that to learn from a lot of customers, and she's also in engineering, but on the pre-sales side, to learn from customers, to see all the possibilities, it's very important. So it's actually 2 things: follow your passion and be very open-minded. And of course you have to work hard. That's normal.
If want to be success in AZO, maybe start in the first step as a small position and up. What are the skills AZO need people to have?
In this way that we have junior positions here, so that when staff, when we try to find new employees, they go into these junior positions. We do test working actually, so they have to come a few days, and then we see how do they do the work. I mean, of course, you have to have all the basics, mathematics or logical thinking, analytical skills have to be there. That's normal. Depending on the job, of course. In sales, it might be a little bit different than in engineering, but we test this really out to make sure that we don't make mistakes. Yeah? If they really exceed the expectations, of course, they can grow to higher positions. Yeah, we set up these career paths really in the beginning, and we have like one on the sales side, we have one on the engineering side, one in the pre-sales side. I think a good possibility then for those candidates to grow. Yeah? Yeah. But of course, since we are an organization for Southeast Asia, we have colleagues in Indonesia, we have colleagues in Malaysia. Here in Thailand, we are quite mixed as well. Yeah? That of course then also means a lot of different culture, different backgrounds, different education, and then different ways how to approach solving a problem. Yeah? So that makes it then very, very valuable. Yeah? Work in Thailand, it's like a family. That impresses me the most, that there's a lot of cooperation, a lot of working together. Yeah, I think you know it, the topic of food. Yeah, everybody's eating together. Yeah, very important. Yeah, so it's not like only work colleagues, but it's really like they are friends. They are really close, and that I find very impressive. Yeah, that people are working together. They consider themselves as a family, and they do a lot of things together, like also going on trips and stuff like that. And that I find very impressive. As a society, that is a very strong thing. Yeah? That I find interesting, and I was of course very surprised in the beginning that it is like this. I didn't know that, of course, when I came to Thailand. Great experience, yeah.
Then you will take the opportunity to be managing director in Germany, so I think you will miss that part.
Yes.
About Thai feelings.
Yes, yeah. As I mentioned to you, next year in July, I will return to Germany, to the head office. I will take over managing director position for the area sales and service. Yeah, so that's also where my heartbeat is. Yeah, that's what I really like, and I'm really looking forward to that challenge. That's of course, it will be very different from what we have, what I have experienced here. But I think it's very good also there to be open. I will have like a reverse culture shock. Yeah? Even though I am German, I'm here for a very long time, so I have to get really ready that okay, it's a different culture. Maybe people do not understand what I'm saying, because I have a different view on things. That will be of course very interesting, but also of course for my family. Yeah? So I have 2 daughters. For them, learn something, to open up their mind, to give them the opportunity to see something else than Thailand, and of course also for my wife to do that. Yeah, that will not be easy. That's very clear. Yeah, but I think the challenge here and the opportunity to grow personally as a person for all of us will be good.
What are the biggest gains for you as a young manager working in Thailand?
I learned actually at that time 2 things. Really being that the sales guy is the important guy at the customer, that as a boss you stay a little bit in the shadow, you coach the sales guy. If you don't do that, then the sales guy will not really develop himself, because he's not really put there. So he really has to use his own thoughts, and of course you have to give them the support to do all of this. Then and another one was that my boss at that time told me, you have to make yourself as a boss as unimportant as possible. Then you enable other people to do the work. That is the foundation of growing the business. Yeah, and those 2 sentences are for me very important. Actually, I apply them all the time. Yeah, I try to really give all my managers and also the staff this idea of, you have to delegate work, you have to enable, you have to empower the colleagues to do the work. Yeah, and then of course by yourself you have to take other new things on, study new stuff, and then try to develop it. That is the foundation for business growth.
That's how we manage people in business.
That's right.
Last question, what do you want to tell yourself, your younger self, like age 25 or 29?
Actually, everything went not too bad, quite okay. And I would actually tell my younger self to really go for the opportunities, but to be also very decisive. Yeah, maybe sometimes I'm like, waiting too long, but to be more decisive, to really take on opportunities, to go for it, and to be very self-confident in doing that, because no reason not to be. So that is what I would tell myself. But actually continue on the same path, that's a good one.
So
Yeah.
in order to be success like you in the future, I will take what you just said.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much, Kun Jan, for your time today and your advice for other business people to develop their skill, their mindset. And then in the end, I'm sure if they listen to you and take your advice, they will be success like you.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ